Matt Moretti, what's up? Cheers, everybody. Little side note. I used to drink my scotch with one big cube in it and a splash of water. Oh, got a bug in there. Where you going, Pally? That's mine. Come on. Come on, let's go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I win so many awards. Because I treat you to getting a bug out of my scotch, and then because it's sterile. Or I should say sterile enough. Sterile enough for me. And now I've taken to drinking it neat because with a rock in it, a little bit of water starts to melt, and it still tastes good, but it goes down way too fast. And boom, I have one, and boom, I have another one. Like, next thing you know, my tiny body is all akimbo. So now just drink it neat. And when you take that sip tells you, like, you should go slow, man. You should go very, very slow. Sean, how are you? Shannon, what's going on? That's right, Don. That bug was just fiber. I saved it for later. I'm probably going to put it in my dog's bowl and watch the dog eat it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into story time. I'll remind you again, if you are not caught up on the story, I believe we're up to episode 7 on the site. This is episode 9, so there might be a gap, but all the sleigh readings are stored in replay form, just like this very broadcast seeing at Facebook and at Twitch for a while and at YouTube. And then we strip out the audio. Steve Rickenberg does an edit on it, polishes it up. We get that into the feed on Sunday. We've already finished podcasting Slay S1 Season 1, Episode 7, and we have episode 8 coming up this Sunday. So we'll talk more about that in a minute, but now it's time to read. Everybody can hear me. Everything's going okay. The Jack's in the house. What's up, y'all? Now let's get into it. I cannot forget to hit record, and my mind is elsewhere, but we're going to see how we do with this read. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Slay episode number 9, and as you know, I reintroduce it again so we can cut it out and use it in the audio. Saves me some time because I'm smart like that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slay episode number 9. Let me get you caught up on the story so far, and we're going to dive right into it. Previously on Slay. Lincoln was ordered by Callista to murder Ariella Goldsmith. When Lincoln attempted to fulfill that mission, Ariella told him she could save Sam, Lincoln's son. Lincoln decided to go into business with Ariella in order to earn the treasure necessary to rescue Sam. But Ariella is still in Callista's sights, and that is a bad place to be. Lincoln had Ariella quickly pack what she could because the only way she could survive was to hide away in Lincoln's home, a century-old, run-down stone church. Meanwhile, Billy Lil B. Middleton is dealing with his first dose of nurple, a drug that made him see monsters. Billy had set up a cocaine deal between Dante Oganov, a Russian mobster, and the Rodriguez brothers, local importers of Bolivian flake. During that deal, Dante forced Billy, at gunpoint, to do a dab of nurple, which had disturbing effects on Billy. Not the least of which seems to be an instant addiction to the stuff, an addiction that has Billy in rough shape. And now, episode 9 of Slay. Shivering, sweating, hurting. Billy felt another wave of nausea. Seconds later, the last of his lunch came up. He had been sick all day, all goddamn day, most of which he had spent in bed. Shivering, unable to get warm, unable to stop sweating, puking into a little trash can. He'd eaten a bowl of cereal for breakfast, then half a grilled cheese sandwich for lunch, and both had come back up hours later. "Billy, baby, you sure you're okay?" Good old Grams couldn't slip one past her. She was right outside the door to his room. "I'm good." Billy was a damn far sight from good. "Don't worry, Grandma, I'm fine." The silence of her hesitation. "Billy, baby, you know you can talk to me, right? You know you can tell your grandmother about anything." He wanted to. He wanted to tell her everything, have her tell him that it would be okay, that he had messed up, but he'd make it right. He wanted to tell her everything, but he couldn't. She would be so disappointed in him, so ashamed. He couldn't tell her that he'd set up a major drug deal. He couldn't tell her that Joe, who, when they were children, had spent the night here more times than Billy could remember, the Joe that Grandma had adored, was dead, the top of his head blown off by a shotgun. And above all, Billy sure as hell couldn't tell Grandma that he'd taken a crazy drug that made him see monsters. I know I can tell you, Grandma. Just upset tummy, that's all. Honest. More silence. All right, Billy baby. I'm going to go watch my programs. He heard the floorboards creak with her steps. Billy hated lying to her. She had raised him after his parents died. She'd given him a home, given him love, given him support. And how had he repaid her? By getting into the drug game. The drug game that oh so politely introduced Billy to nurple. It had probably been a risk to Google the stuff, because maybe cops were scanning internet traffic for mentions, but he had searched anyway. He'd found a weed-infused drink of the same name made in Ohio. No reference to monsters or magic associated with that, though. There was a cocktail by that name as well. Malibu rum, triple sec, blue curacao liquor, and cranberry juice. Apparently, a character on the show Supernatural liked it. The word was also slang for an Australian school kid's butt after getting a whipping from a headmaster. And, of course, a purple nurple was also the result of a titty twister. Billy had found lots of stuff, but nothing came close to what he was experiencing. Billy had even risked a ChatGPT search. That shit was probably a direct line to the NSA or something, a government trick to get dumbasses to ask about bombs and nationalism and protests and the like, but he was desperate. So he had entered, "How does the drug purple nurple make me see magic?" ChatGPT had answered, "As an AI language model, I don't have any information about a drug called purple nurple. It's possible that this drug is a slang term for a specific substance, or it may not be a real drug at all. Some drugs can cause hallucinations, which can lead to altered perceptions of reality and potentially, quote, magical, end quote, experiences. However, these experiences can also be dangerous and unpredictable, and it's important to be aware of the risks associated with drug use." Unpredictable? Dangerous? No fucking shit. That answer, though, gave Billy some hope. Maybe the monsters he'd seen had been in his head all along. But the monsters weren't the issue at the moment. Feeling like a bag of boiled assholes was. Maybe nurple was comparable to heroin in that there was a substitute for it, something to help him with the DTs. Or maybe just one more hit of the stuff to ease the shakes and the pain and... No. He would never do another dab. Never. No matter how bad it hurt. He needed answers. That mailbox. That talking mailbox had said the Nurp Perp dealt the stuff. Maybe Billy could ask the Nurp Perp. But wasn't the big-mouthed mailbox part of the hallucination too? But what if it wasn't? What if the monsters were real? He needed answers. Just going to the Nurp Perp's alley didn't mean Billy was going to buy a vial or do a dab. It didn't mean that at all. It was probably just a regular old alley. There probably weren't glowing magic letters on the alley wall. The mailbox was probably just a mailbox. Probably. But Billy needed to know. He slid out of the bed and started pulling on his clothes. "This is where you live?" Ariella said. "Seriously?" Lincoln leaned his bike to the left, a hint for her to get off. She did. "Home sweet home," he said, and slid off himself. Ariella Goldsmith shrugged, adjusting her backpack straps. She stared at the boarded-up church. "Looks like it should be condemned," she said. It had been condemned. Twice. "It looks better in the daylight," Lincoln said. Ariella side-eyed him, hopeful but also doubtful. She didn't buy it for a second. "You sure it's safe, Lincoln? You sure?" He didn't feel like answering that question. Not truthfully, anyway. "It's the safest place you'll get," he said. "Come on." He rolled the bike up the concrete handicap ramp. Ariella hesitated, then followed. She wasn't the confident lawyer anymore. Lincoln didn't know much about Ariella, but he knew her world had just been ripped out from beneath her. Lincoln deactivated the protection spell on the door. The noise and the hair-raising energy generated by that seemed to make Ariella relax just a bit. She believed in that part, at least. A huff of air overhead, Ariella ducked, threw up an arm. Shitbird landed on the stone molding above the door. "The only good lawyer is a dead lawyer, a dead lawyer!" Lincoln bent, picked up a thumbnail-sized bit of loose concrete, and whizzed it at the crow. The pebble bounced off the blackbird's chest. Shitbird flapped aloft. "Fuck off," Lincoln said. Shitbird circled once, shouted, "You smell like an ass crack, an ass crack, an ass crack," then vanished into the night. Ariella slid off her backpack, held it in one hand. She'd packed enough stuff into it that the weight made her lean slightly to the left. Lincoln started to open the door, but he paused. He looked at her. "Do you like dogs?" Ariella sagged. "Not only is this place condemned, but you have a dog too?" "I'll take that as a no," Lincoln said. "Don't worry, she's little. You got nothing to fear but being licked to death." Ariella huffed. "Normally that phrase is a promise, not a warning, but in this case, I'm less than enthused." Not everyone liked dogs. That was the way of things. Ariella would just have to tough it out. "You forgot to mention the dog," Ariella said. "Anything else you forgot to mention?" Lincoln winced. Maybe he should have called ahead. I have a roommate. She's occasionally less than nice." Ariella raised one eyebrow. "Not exactly a ringing endorsement of hospitality." She shrugged. "And it's not like I have any choice, right?" She did not. Not at all. "Let's get you out of sight," Lincoln said. "Welcome home." He opened the door and rolled his bike through. Ariella followed him in. Billy stumbled along 2nd Street, arms crossed tight over his stomach. He knew he looked like the other junkies in his neighborhood, the tweakers, the cottonheads, the drunks, all either gassed to the gills or hurting for their next hit. Hurting like Billy. The effects were starting to fade. Maybe. He still saw magic signs here and there, letters glowing in the dark night, either tastefully designed to top existing store banners or spray painted on walls and doors. But they were few and far between, and they didn't glow with the intensity he'd seen when he had first dosed. Same signs, same places. Even though they weren't as bright, weren't as pronounced, Billy knew that wasn't how hallucinations worked. A cramp crunched his stomach, made him almost double over. It was dark out, but still early. People mostly ignored him. A few saw him, shook their heads, looked to the sidewalk, their visible sadness silently shouting, "There goes another one." He understood what they saw. Another young man sliding down the bottomless slope of drugs. But that wasn't him. He had never done that shit. Mostly thanks to Grandma's guidance, her discipline, her love and patience. While many of Billy's friends tried this drug or that and careened off into Never Never Land, Billy stayed clean. He realized that if he, too, stared at the sidewalk, he wouldn't see the people looking at him, judging him. He kept his eyes down and he kept moving, willing his feet to take one more step. 3 blocks to go to reach the mailbox and the Nurp Perps alley. Well, goddamn, look who it is, Little B himself. Oh, shit. Billy looked up, saw Butch Johnson leaning against the side of a midnight blue Chrysler 300, sitting in a 7-Eleven parking lot, black leather jacket, a bulwark against the cold Billy had barely registered. Big Hack and Money Monday were with him, also suitably bundled up. All 3 stared straight at Billy. Billy's sickness had erased his common sense. Instead of going down 5th Street, he'd shambled down 2nd, straight into the territory of the rolling outlaws. Where you been hiding, Little B? Butch stepped away from his gleaming car. You make us think you don't like us no more. Billy couldn't fight for shit to begin with. Dope sick like this, he didn't stand a chance. Big Hack's real name was Kamare. Money was Monday's actual last name, which was pretty damn cool, but his real first name was Clarence. Butch, on the other hand, he didn't have a nickname. With a name like Butch, he didn't need one. Butch's mother had been a fan of Westerns. Billy knew this because he, Joe, Butch, and Kamare had been in grade school together. Money Monday had been 2 years back. Billy, Kamare, Butch, and Joe had played together as kids. In the 5th grade, maybe the 6th, that all started to change. Kids separated into cliques. The thugs, the cool kids, the jocks, the nerds. Butch had been in the first group, Billy and Joe firmly in the last. Kamare had been a jock, but by high school, he'd fallen off of that, instead rolling with Butch as Butch started working his way up the local street structure. Damn, Little B, Money Monday said. You strung out. So much for don't get high on your own supply. If Billy had been feeling 100%, he might have run for it. But Big Hack was fast as fuck and would catch up. Although the rolling outlaws didn't like to chase all that much. They were more like spiders. They waited. They weren't lions chasing down prey. They were ambush predators. They set up shop and waited for people to unknowingly come to them. Exactly as Billy had just done. Yeah, you hooked, Big Hack said. Imagine that. Smart little motherfucker like you got hooked? Goes to show you never know. That's the real, Butch said. Say, B, didn't you lord it over us that you was never going to get hooked? You're holier than thou ass sucking dicks for a fix yet? Billy had never lorded anything over anyone. No matter who offered him what, no matter how much shame or bullying they cast on him to join in, to become a loyal customer, he had refused. The fact that he'd quietly stood his ground pissed off those who had not stood theirs far more than mere words or fists could ever do. But his undefeated record ended in the warehouse, with Joe and Dante and that psycho killer in the gray cloak. Dante had forced Billy to do a dab. For all of Billy's pride in staying clean, he wanted to live far more. A gun to your head is a powerful motivator. It ain't like that, Butch, Billy said. God damn. His voice was a bit deeper, raggedy from lack of sleep and vomiting. He even sounded like a strung-out junkie. Butch walked closer, Money and Big Hack at his sides. Billy now wished he had run first thing, but it was too late for that. He'd made the wrong choice. A lot of that going down in his life these days. No one would come to Billy's defense. Not here. Not in the heart of Rolling Outlaws turf. Yeah, I bet it ain't like that, Butch said. Look at you. Smooth talking, valedictorian, book reading motherfucker like you, not only getting hooked, but making money moves as well. I heard you're slinging coke now. I heard you working for some out-of-towner, setting up deals like Scarface himself. That right, Lil B? Billy had kept things quiet, but he'd known word would get out eventually. Word always does. Now that it had, people knowing he'd been a player in the drug deal filled him with shame. Everyone always told him how smart he was, but his choices showed the opposite. That ain't me, Butch, Billy said. I don't know what you're talking about. Butch squinted, leaned a touch closer. Billy smelled Cool Ranch Doritos on his breath. The fuck you ain't, Butch said. The Rodriguez brothers told me themselves. Well, that was that. The Rodriguez brothers had acquired the coke that Dante Oganov had paid for. Butch knew the score. Pretending the deal hadn't happened, that Billy hadn't set it up, that would only insult Butch. And an insulted Butch was bad juju. It was a one-time thing, Billy said. Grams needed an operation. One and done for me, man. One and done. Billy saw the fist coming, but he couldn't make his body do anything about it. Butch's jab snapped Billy's head backward. Another fist thudded into his gut. Breathless, Billy stumbled, dropped to the sidewalk. Good Lord, but that guy could hit. Hands grabbed Billy, dragged him around a corner. He gasped for air, then froze when a gun barrel slid into his mouth, scraping against his teeth. It ain't a one-time thing, Butch said, 'cause that ain't how it works. It ain't good enough for you to be the smartest motherfucker in the neighborhood. You have to treat me like I'm stupid. Billy's eyes crossed as he looked at the finger on the trigger of the pistol shoved into his mouth. Then up at Butch, who held the pistol. Butch looked worn, roughed up and textured by his life on the streets. You're going to cut me in, Butch said. Right, my old friend? Billy's pain didn't vanish, but it moved back, hid away behind a new problem, a big problem. If he said the wrong thing, a bullet would rip out the back of his head. He would wind up just like Joe. So Billy did the only thing he could. He nodded. He nodded slowly. You're going to give me 10%, Butch said, of everything you make from them. And I can guess what you're thinking, Billy. You're thinking you're going to ignore me, or you'll get your new buddies to come put the boot on me to back off. You know what I know that they don't know, Lil B? Billy shook his head. He shook it slowly. I know where you live, Butch said. More than that, I know where your grandma lives. The cold that flooded through Billy's chest wasn't from the DTs. Not this time. The thought of these jerks breaking into the apartment, scaring Grams, maybe roughing her up, maybe killing her. Billy had fucked around, but it would be Grandma that found out. I know you're playing with the big timers now, Butch said. You might be thinking you can go to them to get me off your back. Anyone steps to me, or I don't get my money, and I'll pay Grams a visit. You got me, Lil B? The gun slid free of Billy's mouth, the front sight clicking against his upper teeth as it did. He could still taste the metal on his tongue. There was a time to be a smartass. There was a time to talk your way out of trouble. There was a time to use words to shine people on, confuse them, make them ask internal questions to which only you could provide the answers. This was not any of those times. I got you, Billy said. Butch nodded. That's good. We're going to start there. Then, in a few weeks, you'll introduce me to these people. Don't worry, valedictorian. It's all going to work out. Me and my boys get paid, you get paid. And Grams gets to keep on being Grams. You got me? I got you, Billy said. Then, a double-sized cramp squeezed Billy's guts like a fist squishing a handful of mashed potatoes. He made one abbreviated hoiking sound, and then his stomach, his traitorous jackass of a stomach, found something else to throw up. Pale purple vomit splashed against Butch's face and his black leather jacket. Billy sort of saw the pistol whip away, then flash forward, but after it landed, he didn't know where the rest of the blows came from. I think I do it for me. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is Slay episode number 9. Lil B is in trouble. He's in trouble from multiple sources now. So, you know what? The lesson of the story? Don't do drugs, kids. Okay? Don't do drugs. Baby girl, come on up. Now we turn Slay off. Oh, I stopped recording. Boom! I got it right this time. How about them apples, you guys? Do you like apples? Do you like apples? Well, I got a number. How about them apples? That's not really a Boston accent, is it? Hello, Jen. Hello, everybody coming in a little bit late. Jen Aaliyah says, the characters in this story are starting to feel like the Crypt. Well, when the Crypt comes out, I think you'll probably change your mind about that. And as we continue to get into Slay, who knows what's going to happen? It's all over the place. It's a wild story all over the place, I tell you. All right, let's see how we're doing. We got a nice passel of people hanging out tonight. You guys are great. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Kim. Dr. Dan Baker says his job is done. Jennifer Sherwood likes apples. Go back to Maine. As soon as my love my life settles in here, we'll get crack-a-lackin'. And I'm unmuting you, Pumpkin.
Okay, great.
There you go. There you go, champ. We have as many as 4 dogs in the house today. So at some point, they're going to come on in here and probably bring a lovely dose of cheer with them. They are all great. They're all good dogs. They're all good dogs, Bront. They're all good dogs. Okay. David says this story is becoming more engaging. I really like Scott's voice's characterizations. And I am definitely been too busy to give my usual proper attention to the voices, but that's going to improve in the next couple of weeks, I think.
We probably need
Let's go to here, Sugar Plum. There we go. Yours might be a little hot. That might be why you're...
He is a little bit hot.
That's why she's glowing like an angel.
Nope, wrong way.
Yeah, that's the wrong way. Go back to your color. Now switch to your favorite color. This one, the color's the one in the middle.
There's 4, baby.
It's the lower one in the middle. One more. Try the other one. There
we go. Oh! Jiminy.
Okay. There. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get our camera set up here. Okay, good. That looks good, Peanut. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a show for you today, as we often do on Wednesdays.
That's mine.
That's yours. We have a show for you today, as we often do on Wednesdays. We're going to reveal our secret project number 1. Get to meet.
Oh, sorry.
Revealing secret project number 1. And then we've got some rough news in the Sigler fam. And again, a reminder, all of these stories are edited. Steve edits, Iceberg Rigberg edits out all the snaps, fixes everything up so it's delightful audio for all of y'all. Okay, you know what? This is now getting important. Sign up for the newsletter. There's a good reason for it. We're going to show you in a minute why there's a good reason for it.
In a minute, I'm going
to show you.
My cinnamon roll.
And text 855-955, text SIG text, one word, to 855-955-5095. Why? We're about to tell you. We're about to tell you what that's all about. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen,
Hello,
if you like hanging out,
people.
you like hanging out with junkies, Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg has his Junkies Party coming up March 4th, 4 to 11 p.m. Pacific time, a 7-hour marathon. because I think Steve is punishing himself for crimes in past lives.
No, I don't know. It's really, really fun that he does this because I love it when I can join. I can't always join, but it's really, really fun. I also kind of embarrass myself and show photos of me as a younger, pimply high school kid and stuff like that. So, come join out. I think I'll be at least a little bit on the next one. I'm not sure how much.
Great, and I will not because I'll be making that rock and roll, bitches.
He's making music.
Making that rock and roll.
He doesn't join.
Getting ready to release some new music probably the next 2 or 3 months, and I'm very excited about it because it's next to all of this, it's my favorite thing to do. Get to relax a little bit. Now, secret project number 1. It's 6:32. We're only gonna take we'll take a few minutes at this because our news at the end. What?
I don't know what secret project number 2 or 3
Oh,
are.
you do? Oh, you don't?
No,
well, I can't.
I mean, you can't tell me now. I would like to know.
I can't tell you in front of the children. They will be scared. They will know Santa Claus is not real.
I understand, but you can tell me later is my point.
Your Brolo's in the house. Nyoka, what's going on?
Hey!
Nyoka, real quick, do you remember the shade of lipstick?
Nyoka, I will show you the brand that I bought. I got it on Amazon Prime Day, and it comes with like 6 or 7, so I'll PM you on Facebook and let you know what it is.
All right.
But it's lovely, and I love it to death.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been working on this shockingly
my
for
brother Jude.
10 fucking months. We had a lot of difficulty with our web developer who has finally gotten a good head of steam, and we're ironing out the last problems. This is now the official website at scottsigler.com. I know people don't go to websites anymore. I know that, but we have one. And let me walk you through all the work that we have done. Allie Press went to work yesterday getting all the Slay episodes up there. So now we've got some cosmetic stuff to fix. We did what we call a soft launch, or what is called a soft launch. We just threw the damn thing up and saw what was broken and started fixing stuff.
Exactly.
So we have the episodes are all up. You can leave a comment if you so choose. We still got some questions about the registration on this because this is a Shopify site. The entire site is built on Shopify. So it shows different on mobile. It shows different on a browser. And we started to get a little marketing back in the thing. We've got our books has to go. That's no longer accurate. Cordy is dying.
I know. I'll let her in just a sec. I can hear her.
We've got some stuff up that we're already going to change. Free serialized audiobooks. We have another secret project number 2 that we can't tell you about yet. Is going to matter when we get these free serialized audiobooks up. A lot of very interesting news coming. Podcast subscribers, I guess that should say podcast subscribe. Got this stuff. We do cool graphical stuff. Now with Shopify, we can change the order of all this stuff. Whatever the current news is, it's very easy to pop it up to the top. We've got our blog is still fucked up. Our blog shows old Story Smack stuff. This is the kind of thing we're going through. Our blog title here, going through and cleaning up. Part of the reason we're doing this is we've got our books moved over. Very cool. And all of these books will go to the book on the Shopify site. And the Shopify site, it's similar to what we had before. We can put in all these links, etc. We really, though, are excited about getting our general store categorized. So we've got books, so people showing up can go to clothing. We told you in the previous secret projects, we're getting all of our old t-shirts brought back again via Printify.
There they are.
We've got so much super cool shit all over the place. You can even find this Kraken shirt on there if you so choose.
Which was part of the original Rookie Tailgate tour. But we've got lots of t-shirts. We've got lots of designs from obviously from lots of Scott stuff, but a handful of Scott Pond stuff is on here too.
Yep.
Which is Siglerism adjacent, of course. We
have nothing in swag yet, but we will.
Not yet, but
We'll
Dawn Lashinsky, she's asking when we're going to add hats to the shop. And we have plans. We have a little bit of work to do to get the site shiny. But once we do, in March, we're going to go do a huge clean out. I'm going to hire a crew and clean out the storage unit. So if we have any older books that we can sell, like if I ever find a stash of Nocturnals, which I think I won't, but things like that, we'll go ahead and put those on the site. And thanks to our good friend Steve Rickeberg, he did a ton of work to to think about a whole bunch of new products that we might add to the store in going forward. And I think for sure we'll add hats, we'll add probably onesies for children, a handful of things.
Chillins. Gotta get some with the chillins. So this, you can sort it. We don't have all the dates accurate right now, but right now we do have, go new to old, that's crazy. Anyways, here we go. This is the next book that I have coming out. It's not actually a book. I haven't
seen that cover. How fun.
I have a story in here that I really, really enjoyed. It's the hitherto secret experience of Marie Curie when she was a badass monster stomper back in her early days. I got to do a bunch of fun research on her, and my story is called A Glow in the Dark. But this is the kind of thing we're doing now. So, if you want to pre-order that for your own edification, all those links are there. Everything is set up.
And I will tell you guys, if you guys have been around for a really long time, the story that Scott has in this anthology is probably tied for first with Red Man as my favorite Scott Sigler short story. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really cool, and it's a super fun character to do, and there's a lot of superpowered talent in this thing. Let's see who's in this. Aletha Contis, Jonathan Mayberry, of course, Jane Yolen. So let's go back to. We just got to go back to books.
Mary Garrett. I don't think that we have dog shirts yet. That I will add to my list of things to look at because our dogs might need Siglers and T-shirts too. Normally, the goddamn dog sitter hand makes them.
So as I said, we have spent, we've spent 10 months putting this together. So in the last 2 weeks, this has taken almost all of my time to go through and revise everything, to get all these books done up. And there was a lot of problems with the site. This just, of course, that's the way websites go. There's always a lot of problems.
And I'm e-commerce in our business. He's content, I'm commerce, like doing all the back end work. And today we got our first order on the new site, so I know it works.
Yes, we actually got our first order. It's great. The blogs, we're going to start blogging more, doing more stuff, sharing my thoughts about things and stuff, and showing. I got a picture of me with my 2 peanuts.
Hi, buddies.
So that is what we are doing. And if you add something to the cart, it's super cool. It pops up. Anyways, we are going to be getting new shirts out in the near future, featuring them on the site. We wanted the site done before we do any new work. I got to have a discussion with Mr. Scott Pond about the new shirt. Kind of know exactly what I want.
Sean Dyer, you ask, are the nocturnal shirts new? No, they are Scott E. Pond designs. But if you sell them, we pay him for those through this site. So go ahead and do that.
Yep.
We have a deal so that we get to do shirts that we didn't sell, but he does, and those are his. There's also a rust colored one somewhere too.
Yeah, and then we're getting to the point. There's asphalt. There we go.
There's the orange
This is
one.
pretty fucking slick, you guys. For as long as I've been doing
really
this.
Nice.
That this now small, medium, large quantity, add to cart, and boom, the cart just slides on in. The cart slides into your DMs and goes, hey, how's your girlfriend? What's going on? So this is very exciting. I'd say it's about 50% of where it needs to be right now, because this is going to wind up becoming the hub of everything that we do, because our text messages are in there, the whole the text message. All of this is tied into the site. So like when we do put out that new shirt that Scott Pond is going to do for us, all I have to do is put that in the SMS, put that in the newsletter. It makes things way easier for you guys. And hopefully it makes me a little more money and a little more, a little pizzazz. What's going on? So
I remember another secret project.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell them.
I can't, but I remember you talking about it earlier today with me. So now I understand. I was very nervous that there were many secret projects.
Many secret projects. Oh, and the last thing I'll say about this is the reason for doing the text is because when we launch the new shirt, we're going to send out the 10% off coupon, which is good for anything in our store. I can't give you 10% off at Amazon. I can't give you 10% off at Barnes & Noble, but any T-shirts, any books that we actually ship, any merch, it's all going to be 10% off if you are signed up at this text or you are signed up at this newsletter. It's going to be pretty fun.
So a couple questions in the chat room. Tracy, I think a 2 pups 1 cup mug might be really fun. We'll look into that. Not right away, but I think that's probably coming. And then Don Shipley, so since this is Shopify, are we done with GoDaddy? GoDaddy hosts our domain.
Yep.
And they'll continue to host our domain. We have both been customers of them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So they will still do that. But we had somebody run our WordPress site called WP Engine, WordPress Engine. And now we're at Shopify. So those are different things. It's the platform versus the domain. domain server. So we're still with GoDaddy, but we're on Shopify, not WordPress now.
And I can tell any of you guys out there who run your own small business are looking at this site going, that's titties and beer. That's going to be great. And everybody else is like, okay, whatever, bro. You done showing us your new stupid site yet? It's a small business. It's a small business thing.
It's a business thing.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is our secret project number 1. I read you slay to bring happy into your world. Now there's a little bit of sad in our world. We are going to talk briefly about, Scott Pond. Your ears are burning because we were chatting about you, and I got to get in touch with you about a new shirt. It's a simple design.
You got to see a man about a shirt.
I got to see a man about a shirt.
2.
You know, and this isn't the one I asked about, which you like make it with the holes cut in the nips so that everybody could see my purple nurples. But that was pretty good. What do you think? I just brought that back. Brought back purple nurple.
I appreciate the callback, but I'm not looking forward to that shirt.
Okay, let's get into the not so great news. We have some news about our friend and family member, Bruce Press. Bruce has been, without a doubt, he has been part of Siglerism since day one. Him and his entire family have been involved. He was at the very first Sigler Fest.
He was our official photographer.
He's been our official photographer for 15 years now, maybe? I don't know. How long ago?
I mean, at least 2008.
Yeah, more like 12.
2009 was the first Sigler Fest.
Okay,
so at least
2009.
in there.
Yep.
And I will say, as a surprise, Scott he figured I would need an assistant at the first Sigler Fest, but I thought I could do it all on my own since it was only about 50 people. But he was right. And what he actually did is he got Bruce's son, Benjamin, to dress as Doctor Who. Ben had a cosplay that he would bring to, or would wear at Dragon Con and stuff, probably still does. And he was a wonderful 10th Doctor, is a wonderful 10th Doctor. And he showed up as my assistant that entire weekend, but he dressed as the 10th Doctor. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
So Bruce has done wonderful things. All of the Siglerfest photo books.
Yep.
Which maybe we'll get back up on the site eventually.
Oh, you can. Yeah, we'll make sure that we share the links in case you want them.
We'll share the links of these things eventually.
Blurb.
It's just full of pictures of junkies that you may know, and just me and A having a good time. Also, did a little airbrushing on my guns. So sick. So sick. And then,
by the way, that's
all of
right
this stuff.
That's right before you fell off stage.
Right before I fell off stage. All of this documentation of all the stuff, the celebration that we have had with you guys over the past 12 years.
Yeah.
It's just, these are the kind of mementos that...
I love that. I love this. That cover photo from 2014 is just so fantastic.
So good at what he does. And
show that back cover photo too. It's
the back cover photo.
Every year he chooses what he calls a hero shot. Or every year that we did Sigler Fest, he chose a hero shot for us. For example, when we got married, Scott said, "Hey, can you help me frame a photo?" That first one was so fun. Oh, that's the
first Vegas one.
That's the first Vegas one. And it's on the back of this. If you show the back of that Bruce had that photo blown up and framed for Scott to give me on our wedding day, which is lovely, and it hangs in our home.
So that's all of the fun stuff. And basically, he has been the documentarian of Siglerism for basically from the beginning.
And it's just, he and his family and his wife are just such enormously lovely people. If you have ever been to a Sigler Fest, you have had the good grace of the Press family, the Ice Pick family. They have shared food with you, shared stories with you, shared karaoke songs with you. They've done all of that. And they need our energy and love and light right now.
Because Bruce has,
Pancreatic cancer.
Bruce has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And this is a very difficult time, obviously, for him. The entire Press clan, all of Siglerism, a titan of what we do, who has helped make all of this. Bruce has been a part of all of this for us, is having a really difficult time. So we just want to share that with you. There is, let's go to 1 second, Press. So
there we go.
Bruce has a site at caringbridge.org/visit/setthebarlow, all one word. That's the place you can go. There's a donation link if you'd like to apply to it. I think I'm not sure the donation link is for him or for Caringbridge.
Caringbridge. It's maybe, but I think probably that one is for Caringbridge. But
for Caringbridge, but the more important thing is this site is where Bruce and Fam are documenting the process he is going through in fighting this.
And for the record, originally chose not to talk about it on social media and just talk about it on Caring Bridge. So if you saw his social media post today or yesterday or whenever he posted it, also know that this is where he would prefer to do updates and stuff like that. So
he's taxed for energy right now as he's going through his battle. So he made it known on Facebook that this is where he wanted to communicate with everybody. You know, it's probably a situation where he and his family they can't respond to everything. But if you know the guy, or even if you just appreciate the guy's work, Caring Bridge is the place to go. They will see these messages. You can give them a shout out if you like. You can follow their story as they're marking everything. He has the main post from December 7th when this started, and then an update from as early as February 12th.
Also, when we talked to them early on in this process, back at the end of last year, the name of this blog at Caring Bridge is called Set the Bar Low, and he and I and Scott and Julie talked about it when they called us in December to talk about this, and I said I so love celebrating setting the bar low, and he's like, yeah. I mean, if I can say anything, it's just like us at the PUV empty set here, celebrating the wins. You can celebrate every single little win, and you can set your winning expectations low enough that you always meet them, which is sometimes really, really important, like right now. So I love that Set the Bar Low is the same. It's sort of like the yin to us celebrating every win, no matter how little.
Yeah. And Home Slice is so baller. He's got an Orbiting Death shirt on in his picture here.
He does. I didn't notice that until just now.
Fucking straight baller. And then here's his whole documentation, all the different posts. So if you guys, if you care to go take a peek, you can. You can just tap a few hearts and everything along those lines. It's a rough time. It's a rough time for the fam.
It bites.
And fam is absolutely a huge part of what we do. So
I know.
But that is it for talking about that. We've still got 10 minutes left. Let me go. Yeah, I've got the URL up there.
Yeah, set the bar low, then jump right the fuck over it. Every single time.
But go say hi. Every day still with us is great. And if he beats this thing, fucking even better.
Yep.
But, life is short. Tell the people you love that you love them. And that's not info you want to leave unsaid. So let's get rid of that shit and move on to... I'm gonna fucking turn this off.
I'm showing her belly.
I think we need to see some dogs. That's what we need to do.
And look, I'll show you guys. You see this little thing right here? Oh, here it is. That's an empty set tattoo. Cordelia. I'll show you. Ready? See?
Come here, Boogzilla. Let's go. Come to me.
It means that she spayed, but it's a lot like this one. Oh,
this is Cordelia.
Hi, Cordy P. Lockett.
Let's get a close-up here.
Cordelia, such a good girl.
Cordelia is here long with a giant thick head and the...
Look at what a good girl she is.
And the coloring of a jungle tiger. She's a dangerous, dangerous individual. You'd best not underestimate her. And she has crazy white chest and crazy white paws. Look at this peanut. We're babysitting this little baby, and she's so sweet. So... what the hell?
So you guys can't see it, but Cordy put her back foot on Scott's keyboard and screwed up all of our internal mechanizations.
So it was rolling. Reese piece. Come here.
Oh my goodness, that's lovely.
Come here.
Cordelia is younger than all of the other dogs by at least 5 years.
And of course,
there's Reese. Look at little snowy
the dog of doom.
Reese.
She got frosting on that face. Frosting on her face. What a sweet girl.
Look at there. What a good girl.
So these are my peanuts.
What a good girl you are.
And then one more, because we have 4 dogs.
Stella Bella Boo. You guys haven't seen Stella Bella Boo in a long time.
Hey, sweet girl. Stella always looks like she's in trouble at all times.
Yeah, she does have a little frowny face. Hi, baby girl. Hi, baby girl. You got this. You're all right.
She's like, I don't... right in there. Oh, what did I do? I didn't do nothing.
I would like a treat, though.
And I would like to point out that when I picked up Stella, so that you guys could see Stella, my dog stole her bed. Strong work. Okay, it's we don't really have time for questions, baby, but let's see if there's just chat room for the next 5 minutes. Let's see, do we have anyone throw out ideas for new t-shirts? Throw that in the chat room.
Yeah, for sure. We did get a couple of Celebrations today, but I'm going to celebrate them next week because they came in too late. We had already done the script for everything for today, but we have a handful of gorgeous junkie birthdays. Our good friend Daniel Lundy had a birthday this week on Monday. Our very good friend Stephen King had a birthday this week. Kelly McArdle had a birthday this week. So we're going to celebrate all of those. And the dogs, I guess, again.
Yeah. Everybody loves frosting. Love my puppies. They're great.
Who doesn't love frosting? That little sprinkling on her. Although I have my watch set, like, to show me photos. That's the whole, and I have like a favorites list on Apple, and I put a whole bunch of dog photos in there, and a whole bunch of like wedding photos in there, and a whole, things like that.
Here's a question.
And some of them are. Oh my goodness. Not like some of the dog photos are like,
Genelia says, I love the idea of 2 pups, 1 cup merch.
Me too.
I'm not so sure about that one.
A mug. Tracy Shank suggested a mug. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We can, but it's really fun we do that. Sean Dyer asks, is there a significant difference aside from length for outlining a short story versus a novel?
Yes.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that there is. It's a similar process. Obviously, the short story is shorter, and the short story has fewer demands on explaining the character and getting the depth of the arc. So a short story is largely just a couple of brushstrokes about a situation. So the outline is frankly pretty simple. The challenge with the short story is you have X amount of words to fit in that story. So the outline becomes more of a nuts and bolts about, instead of how do I tell this whole story, it's like, how do I keep the story into this particular window? So it's a different, they're equally challenging
for me,
but different.
I feel like they're quite a lot different.
Shit, Brian King got a job to interview tomorrow.
Oh, Brian King, yes. I know you'll rock it.
Positive vibes for Brian King, got a job interview tomorrow. Just chill and just look him in the eye.
So
just chill.
I got to go back though, because I find that there is a huge difference in outlining a short story or outlining an entire novel. And I find it's such an interesting conundrum, because here's the thing. If he knows it's like a 5,000 word story or a 3,000 word story, which he sometimes gets hired to do, of course, he can be like, no, I got that. I can knock that out in one day. And it probably takes like 1 day of principal writing, 1 day of editing, 1 day to finalize, right? But that still counts. Like, it's 1 day to write the whole bulk of the story. And he doesn't outline at all.
For a short story?
You don't.
For what kind? I'm sorry, what kind of short story? I was answering in the chat room.
Literally any short story. Like with the last one that you wrote for Jonathan, which is all I'll say about that. You were like, yeah, no, I'll write that on Monday.
Yeah.
Now, he may do a little like storyboarding in his head, but it's in his head. The difference is this: for a novel, like a GFL novel or like Ancestor or Nocturnal, we scheduled 2 entire work weeks where his whole 4-hour writing block is nothing but outlining. So while he says to you, like, no, I don't think there's any difference, there's a world of difference, because, as you guys already know, one of the things you love about Scott's writing is his plots like come together at the end, like cogs in a wheel, like that.
Yep.
And if it's 3,000 words, he doesn't have a lot of subplots. If it's 200,000 words,
There's a lot of shit going on.
so many subplots, and it's 2 weeks worth of outlining, and he's all like, no, there's no difference.
I have to take umbrage. I have to take offense. I have to take insult to Kim Hansen,
Oh, not
who
me.
said in the chat room, what did she say? Let me see how offensive this. Can we change future Dark Overlord to future not so Dark Overlord? And then we got Eric Fisher weighing in, future Darkish Overlord. You know what? Keep in mind, I hate everyone and want them all to burn in a
But
gas
he's not
fire,
that dark.
except you guys.
And me.
Except you guys. Except people in
And the puppy.
Siglerism. Everyone else, I say skin them alive and hang their corpses from the nearest flagpole so that the world understands that I am not to be trifled with. So there you go.
He does love trifle, though.
Dr.
Like a
Dan Baker
big
says,
fan of
my
trifle.
5-head can hold one hell of an outline. Yeah, I wish. I truly
Listen,
wish.
the only difference is I have no.
Oh,
put
go
it
back?
to the other way.
Yes, ma'am.
I have contouring. You can see it now that I pointed out. I have like an 8 head.
There's a lot of big Irish noggins in this house right here.
I like that you chose your Irish heritage there. Instead, your German head is big too.
Yeah, the Germans have big heads too. And my head is more like long this way. I have a lot of like.
You do have a pointy head.
I look okay when I move, but when you take a still shot of me, I look a lot like a slee stack. And there's like the whole vertical ascent thing going on here that just doesn't.
Did you say vertical ascent?
Yeah, vertical. I have a vertical ascent to my
face?
head. I look like the thinker from Superman. You can't see it when I'm talking like this, but a still picture. I look at a still picture and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? How did I get through high? How do I have that head? It's crazy. And then when the light hits it right, these crazy ridges I got, I'm like a Klingon with a tall head. That's what I am. That's why I move so much when I talk to you guys. So you can't get a good look. Like who?
Nope. You guys. We have been working on new headshots. And it's a whole bunch of going out at golden hour, because that's when you take the best outdoor photos without a light, and taking 1,000 photos of Scott while our neighbors look at us like we're crazy.
Yep.
And every time he looks at the photos, I'm like, this one is so great. I love this one. And he's like, what is happening with my head?
Yep. I look like I've been spaghettified in a lot of these. It just looks like I've been stretched out in the middle of a black hole, and I can see my Klingon mastermind
she's also,
head.
has a big head right here.
Yeah?
I do too. I have a Charlie Brown head. Mine goes this way.
Your head is perfect.
And very round. And if I had male pattern baldness, I believe I would have just 3
Yes,
hairs,
Tracy. I use
like
Slee
Homer
Stack
Simpson
as a self-descriptor.
or Charlie Brown.
And, it's a good thing I like big brains and I cannot lie. So my wife's giant.
I have such a giant head. It's so round.
There's a lot of brains
so round.
fit in. There's a lot of room for brains in this. Hence my attraction to this woman.
You guys, my mom, who is not here tonight, but often joins
Thanks,
the Sigler in place chat. She's not here tonight, though. My mom hates 2 things more than everything else about her relationship with me. One is when people tell her that we look alike, which we absolutely do.
Yeah,
we have exactly the same color eyes. We have exactly the same skin tone. And like from here to here, we look exactly the same, as does my brother Jude, who's in the chat room. And everybody will tell my mother that, and she'll be like, I don't see it. She doesn't look anything like me. He doesn't look anything like me. We look so much like our mother, so much like our mother. And then the other thing that she hates to death is me saying that I have a giant head. I have never purchased a hat at Target, if that says anything to you ladies in the chat room. I have never been able to purchase a jaunty hat anywhere without measuring my head size.
Oh, yeah. Eric Fisher says he's 6'8" and he has a giant head. Yes, but your head is proportional. I'm going to type. Here we go again.
Also fair. But yeah, I have a super round, very, very round head, Charlie Brown head, and my mother gets so mad when I mention it. But I can't wear just a generic hat.
I'll tell you how we look. I look like a Pez dispenser. And A looks like a bobblehead. That's the Sigler.
Go ahead and come.
He's got the 2 big bobblehead head, and I've got, watch this, ready? I'm a Pez dispenser, man. They always have the big
flip up head.
I got a skinny neck and a flip.
You can see what has happened at the PUV empty set. It's 7:00 now, and he's doing a flip up head.
You guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna go get pissed right now. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna get pissed. So don't expect me to write a bunch of stuff for you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go have several scotches. I'm gonna play a shit ton of Fortnite tonight. Is what I'm gonna do, and then I'll worry about everything else. You know what? Worry about it tomorrow. I'm gonna murder some people in Fortnite. That's gonna be just fine. So. Tori says she can't unsee her. I know. Right now you see it. Like, look at this.
My brother in the chat room just said, Mom's just mad she has a pinhead, which she does kind of have.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
Here's a good angle. Look at that. Look at that. It's longer than it should be. It's longer. It's like when I was come out my mom's birth canal, she coughed and like stretched everything out just like that. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Steve, the iceberg, says it's so much Fortnite, it's 5 night. I mean, yes. Okay.
Steve, are you saying it's 5 night for the 5 head? Because if you are, son of a bitch. God damn it. All right. Dawn, I will be drinking in your honor. That's totally why I'm drinking. Yes,
Wait, is today your birthday, Dawn?
Yeah, I already sang to her. Happy birthday to you.
Downstairs.
You want to do one real quick and then we'll sign
Yeah.
out? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dawn Shipley. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, don't you go changing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can you have this dog stop headbutting my microphone? For God's sake, Stella. No wonder she looks like she's in trouble. She's screwing with the audio in this place. You guys are all fantastic. Tell your loved ones you love them. You're wonderful. We're happy to spend this time with you. It's great. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, any ideas or admiration or hate for Slay, send that information to info@emptyset.com. Also, if you've got shout-outs for yourself, you got fun things you want to celebrate.
Anything you want to share. Once Emily McGregor sent me a weird like a tree growing on a median in the road because she thought how crazy that it grew. Oh. Send me shit like that.
You guys, Dawn Shipley just said she's going to have a massive beer tomorrow. Happy 21st birthday, Sean.
Oh,
Dawn,
yes!
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you finally get to have a beer. You whippersnapper. Congratulations. We will be back.
All the people who had birthdays this week.
Part.
Enjoy.
That's bad.
That's okay.
21st?
Yeah, I think we'll be back.
We'll be back. I think Slay episode 8 is going to be the second. No, Slay episode 10 is going to be the second biggest bloodbath before Slay episode 16. Slay episode 16, roughly
2/2/2, March 22nd, next Wednesday. We'll be back with that Slay episode.
That's 3/2/2. Oh, 2/2. 3/2/2/2. 3/2/2/3. March.
Twos.
Oh, it's February 22nd. Never mind. You know what? Calendars are a tool of the man. They're trying to keep you down, and I rebel. I can't be held down. Me and my giant Pez head.
Nyoka, thank you so much for joining us. Come back. If you have any questions,
we love you guys.
can DM me about the lipstick. You guys, thank you so much for joining us for Slay, the Slay experiment. We'll see you next week.
Wolfie's in the house. Very nice. Kids these days with massive beers and shit.
I'm doing really healthy.
You know what? Yes, it's great. It's great. Ladies and gentlemen, you're fantastic. Let's switch over here. We told you all the information. Let's see. We need you to stay smart.
We absolutely need you to stay science. I know it feels like you're good to go. It's not good to go.
And you can go before you know you can go. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and stay. Look at my hot wife. Jesus Christ. Love this picture. My second favorite picture of her, the first one, is also a Bruce Press. Do we have that? Can we find it? We can't find that, can we?
No, we'll show it.
We'll show it to you next week.
The supervisor photo?
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
supervisor
my God.
photo.
The best
if you want,
photo.
I can go grab it off the wall.
Yeah, do that real quick. That's celebrating Bruce. Let's Bruce's work. This picture, you guys, is so fucking fantastic. I mean, you know, I've taken a lot of photos in my day. Some of which you have seen. Some of which were under my name, Maury Goldenblatz. It's my early porn days. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either. And Goldenrod was my porn nickname. This though is the best, and a bunch of junkies. Bruce had it printed, had a bunch of junkies sign it, and this is before A and I were even putting it down. We weren't even a couple or anything. This was just. This is amazing. This is me fucking macking out on the mic because I paid for the party, so I get to be on the mic all the time. And just chilling, supervising, making sure if anybody wants to start any trouble, she'll take care of that business. So it is my favorite photo of my entire life, and Bruce took that picture.
So that photo was taken in 2014, and this was from 2015, and the caption is lovely. People who attended Siglerfest signed it. That's what all this is. And the caption says, oops, sorry. Scott's work was great before. You helped made it even better. We know the best is yet to come. Which...
who knew?
Is apparently totally true.
Apparently Bruce knew.
But there was a whole big discussion of this photo when Bruce posted it on Facebook about what it should be called and what I was doing and what Scott was doing. And Bruce was the one who said, "Are you kidding me? She's supervising."
Well, he also said, she's got your back.
Yeah, she's got your back.
She's
She's
got your back.
supervising.
And I,
We are so lucky to love
many
the
years
presses.
later, I wind up shacking up with the broad. So it worked out pretty good. Yeah, it worked out. Me and the broad with the big head worked out pretty good.
The Charlie Brown head was so good.
I got this Irish chick with a J in noggin. You gotta believe, you can't, trust me, you gotta believe me. She's fantastic. Her head is like this big. It's great. We're a good partner because mine is like this. I'm like it's a slee stack was squeezed out of the birth canal too soon. That's the way it goes. Ladies and gentlemen.
We are super lucky to be people loved by the presses and obviously have the talent of Bruce Press behind us. So go show him some love. Be respectful that he doesn't really want to answer questions on social media, but you can go to his Caring Bridge site. Send him all the love you can because we all need all the presses we can have.
If you know the guy, go there and give him a little shout out. If you don't know the guy, go there and give him a little shout out. Just say, hey, I see your see all the work you do in Zieglerism. You're great. Wishing you the best. Wishing your family the best. Just a little stuff like that. It lifts the spirits, it lifts the heart, and every tiny bit of motivation at a time like this is absolutely invaluable. Yep, so the spirit, the soul, all of those things come into play right now.
Sean, I appreciate you recognizing the joke there. Very good.
Which joke's that been?
Supervising. You were wearing the super...
Oh!
Yeah. He just
shit!
got it.
I never saw that. I never saw that before. Anyways.
Yeah, supervising. Exactly.
Plus, apparently I was getting some good curls in that week, I was like, I got a little rippling muscle going. Very nice, very nice. As I get older, I treasure the shots that show me with any kind of muscle whatsoever. They're fantastic. Ready? That's it? As Scott Pond knows better than anyone or equal to many other people, positivity makes a huge difference. Go share some positivity with Bruce.
Cancer.
Tell him the Siglers go, what's up, bro? And that's about that. Is that door open? You can hear the difference when the door's open. It's crazy.
I know, because the dogs are running around.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go get drunk and play Fortnite. Baby, what are you doing tonight?
Watching you get drunk and play Fortnite.
Sounds great.
Probably walking the dogs.
Oh, yeah, we're going to walk the dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week. Come on back for Slay episode 10. There will be blood. You're all fantastic. And Ray, let's give you all a kiss out of the sky.